Prime Minister Mark Carney has announced a new initiative that he says will help establish economic independence for Canada. It's being dubbed the Canada Strong Fund and will act as an investment vehicle for major new projects. Essentially, Canadians will be able to invest in the fund and share in its returns. In unveiling the initiative, Carney said, quote, "Many of Canada's former strengths, built on our close ties with the U.S., have become our weaknesses." Here's more of what he had to say.
So here's how it works. A sovereign wealth fund is essentially a national savings and investment account. It's designed to grow wealth for future generations of Canadians. Many countries that are blessed with natural resources, like Norway, have sovereign wealth funds. Canada hasn't had one until now. The new Canada Strong Fund will give all Canadians a direct stake in building Canada strong.
This announcement comes just before the spring economic update, which will happen tomorrow. The CBC's Rafi Boudjikanian joins us live from our parliamentary bureau with more. So, Rafi, this fund will begin with an initial investment by the government of $25 billion. Where is this money going to come from and how will it be used?
That part about where it will come from is still a little bit of a question today, Hillary. We do know the government nodded toward a spring economic statement when asked about that, basically saying stay tuned. We also heard that the government says it's one of the only two G7 countries that can borrow at low cost internationally. So that gives us perhaps a bit of a hint of where the $25 billion is coming from. As for how it's going to be used, we got a little bit more detail there. The Prime Minister saying that Canadians will also be able to invest in it, of course, and that the government will use the money in conjunction with the private sector in order to build some of these big nation-building projects that this government has been talking about for about a year now. Have a little bit more of a listen to what he had to say.
It is not something for, I'm going to use the term from your question, rich people. It's something for Canadians, for all Canadians, everyday Canadians, and on that scale to provide it. And we'll provide it in a way, again, we'll consult and we'll go through the details, so I don't want to overly finalize it, but we intend to provide it in a way where the investment itself, the actual amount of money, is protected. It's something consistent to buying a government bond, but has the upside, the additional return when these projects realize their potential.
So there you're hearing the Prime Minister essentially explaining that there will be no gatekeeping of regular Canadians being able to invest into this fund. And we also heard from the Finance Minister today, François-Philippe Champagne, making the rounds before the spring economic update tomorrow, seeming really enthusiastic about this idea the government has.
This is a new tool in our toolkit to make sure that collectively we build our nation, collectively we benefit from the returns, and collectively we can all invest if we want to alongside to build our nation.
Now, though both Champagne and Carney said we will hear a few more details tomorrow, they've also made it clear that there are some questions the government itself is still looking for answers to, such as the exact parameters of how Canadians will be able to invest. They said that they will be consulting with experts on the matter. And we also heard today that these projects that the fund will be financing are not necessarily the big nation-building projects that the government needs to legislatively get through, right? So last year they enacted this new law that is supposed to get faster approvals for projects the government deems in the national interest. Today, Carney said that those are not the only projects this fund can kick money towards.
Okay, and Rafi, you are also tracking another big political story today. The newly minted Advisory Committee on Canada-U.S. Economic Relations. It is meeting today for the very first time. Some additional names have been tapped to join this group. What can we expect at this inaugural meeting?
I mean, this is the group that's in charge of looking at the future of the Canada-U.S. relationship. And of course, that relationship has been rocky for over a year now with the trade disputes ongoing between this government and the White House. There was a little bit of a shakeup in the group last week. In are some new names like former Conservative leader Erin O'Toole, former Conservative cabinet minister Lisa Raitt, as well as the chair of the Canadian Chamber of Commerce, Candice Lang. We saw some names removed as well. Think of former Alberta NDP Premier Rachel Notley, former Labour leader Hassan Yusuf. Now, this committee in its new configuration is meeting today, just about a couple of months ahead of a projected deadline for Canada, the U.S. and Mexico to agree to a review of CUSMA, the three-way free trade deal between these three countries. That deadline is Canada Day, July 1st. If they don't come to an agreement, the deal would continue on in its current form, though given the tensions between Canada and the U.S., that's perhaps not something the federal government desires. It has said it wants CUSMA to continue. The government has also said, though it's ready to enter formal talks, it's also ready to wait things out, perhaps signaling that it would like to see what happens in the midterm elections in October with Donald Trump's administration. We do know Mexico has a date for formal talks later in May with the U.S., and Canada does not have a day circled on their calendar yet, so that will likely be part of the discussions today.
Rafi, thank you for all of this. The CBC's Rafi Boudjikanian in Ottawa.